Hello, today I want to talk about the correlation between having a high income and having a college education. So you probably have heard this argument before. Some people could say, oh, you don't need a college education anymore to be a high earner, while other people could say, yes, it is super necessary, it is almost mandatory for you to have a college education in order to be a high earner. Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my own personal story. And my personal story is out of doesn't fit the mold because I am an immigrant. I came to Canada when I was already 30 years old. I came to a country where my English was not good enough and my French was non-existent. I live in Quebec, which is a bilingual or French province, so I had to survive and learn a little bit of each one, or in fact, I had to become fluent in both of those languages. So my first year of college was just kind of like an adaptation to the system, and then I did 4 more years. I graduated, but I graduated at age 35. And guess what? My education didn't pan out for me. Why? Because, well, my French was not good enough. So when I went to look for jobs, I just I felt I was discriminated against. People didn't give me a job because my French was just not up to the par. And in that sense, I could say that my education was a failure because it didn't provide the one thing that I was looking for, which was a good paying job. And eventually, I opened my own business. I opened a dance school, something that I could have done before, and spare me the whole trouble of 5 years of education that in fact didn't serve me for much. But I I highlight that my case is a unique case, it's not the standard. A standard case is a kid 18 years old who go to college, and this kid will finish school at age 22, and he goes probably to a good school, and then he's already part of the system. When he goes to see employers, he speaks the language very well, he knows how the system works. So that person will have a higher potential to get a good job than me at age 35 in a society that was not my own. So what is the social script? How does it work? What could be the things that could give a student the highest probability to be successful professionally and to earn a lot of money? Well, um, let's start from the beginning. Let's say a kid is in high school, okay? This kid will have to, at his last 2 years of high school, concentrate and focus on getting good grades. Why does he want to have good grades? Well, because he wants to impress prospective university for to be admitted at them. Okay, so let's take the case of Montreal. A kid goes to a high school, then because he has good grade, he gets accepted at McGill University. Okay, now why would this be a good candidate for McGill University? Well, if they see that the kid had good grades, they could say, wow, this kid, the probability that this kid will finish a 4 year program and then go on to get a job, a good paying job, are high. And then if this happens, our ratio of people who finish our program and who get a good job increases, and that gives us even higher ranking. So not only we get pay, but also our ranking increase. So we're going to go with this kid who has, let's say, a B plus or A minus or whatever. He has proven himself already to be a good candidate. He does his homework, he follows order, etc., etc. Now the student goes to a school, he does his homework, he doesn't do anything stupid, and he graduates with, let's say, decent grades. Maybe not an A plus, but let's say an A minus or B plus or something like that. And there he goes. He sends his CV to many businesses, to many corporations. Now, Now, the human resources of this other business, she's gonna see this CV. Okay, he comes from a good school, McGill University, and she's gonna compare, or he is gonna compare against another candidate. Let's say another candidate for the same job, maybe has, but this one doesn't have a college education. So now, right there at that moment, the human resource department is gonna feel that the kid with the college education is a safer bet. The kid has shown how to jump through the loops, how to do the homework, how to follow orders, while the other one could be better and it could be worse. We don't know. It's a wild card. It's a risk. And maybe the human resource department would rather not take that risk. Okay, so let's say the kid with the diploma gets hired. Okay, so he gets hired. Now, let's say he does what he's supposed to do. He follows orders, he jumps through the hoops, he kicks some butt, whoever he has to be sucking up to, he does what he has to do. And within 10 years, let's say, that kid or that person now, either by attrition or because he or she is a good employee, will climb the ranks, the corporate ranks, and that person will be earning a good salary, let's say $100,000. While the person without a college degree, that person, well, it's gonna be constantly struggle because that person is gonna be always compared against the one who have a college degree, against the one who has already proven that can follow orders and can be dependable. So yes, in those two comparisons, we can see right away that a degree is paying off. Now, of course, we all know that not all degrees are the same. Some degrees, some careers, some majors pay a high annual salary, while other ones they don't. Okay, and this information is out there. So a student has to kind of analyze and say, well, if I do want a high salary, these are the careers that I have to study. And those careers that pay high are the hard science career. For example, electrical engineering, computer programming, computer engineering, physics, economics. Some of those science you can feel comfortable that you're going to have let's say, a much higher salary than if you study social science, let's say human resources, education, music. Those careers, unfortunately, they don't pay as much. And I'm not here to debate whether that's right or not. That is just the world as it is. And it's also supply and demand. So in supply and demand, let's say many corporations need an electrical engineer, and there's only so many of them. Okay, so those corporations, they are just going to beat the price up until they can get that person. They can beat it away from the competitors. So that's why maybe electrical engineer professions, their salary are high. While on the other hand, let's say teacher or social science worker, community service, there are thousands and thousands of candidates for those positions. And how would a business choose which one to hire? Well, if all of them look the same, then let's hire the one who asks for the less amount of money. Why not? And so that end up being why some of these other careers, they just don't pay enough. But none of this is secret. The student can see this information beforehand. So that person should not be complaining, oh, I don't earn a lot of money. Well, I mean, you knew that from the start. So that's society, that's life as it is, unfortunately. But not everyone fits into this nice bell curve of salaries. There are outliers. There are the people who tick all the boxes, meet all the requirements, and for some unfortunate change of event, they never end up being a high earner. On the other hand, there are the individuals who They were never good at school. They were never good at following orders. They were never good at any of this social script that we put in front of them. Yet they create businesses that become multi-million dollars business. That's the case for Steve Jobs, for example, or Richard Branson, who is dyslexic and who left school. That could be the case for Tiger Woods. So those individuals, they just were not good following orders, but they made it work for themselves. So where do we stand? What's the conclusion? The conclusion is that as an individual without any amazing talents, for me, the safest thing to do if I want to have a high salary would be to go to school and to go through the whole social script, the whole process in order to get there, to get hired by a corporation who's willing to pay me for whatever is it that I learn, as long as it's a good paying career. So the conclusion is, if you are looking for a career, well, consider those you want to put the odds on your favor, and try to position yourself in a way that you will be able to earn a high salary. Please let me know your opinion. Please let me know whether you agree or disagree. Please let me know whether it is still necessary to have a college degree in order to have a high paying profession, or if you could skip all that altogether, build a portfolio of experiences, and still get a high paying job. Thank you for watching, and until soon.